Hey dudes, we're back with some Shandalar, and today I've lost my patience. Full disclosure, I played some off-screen because I felt that constantly saving cities and gathering mana links didn't make for an interesting narrative. While I was attempting to gather mana links, the red wizard managed to tap 4 towns, and if any of the wizards manage to tap 5 towns, then the game is over and you've lost. So naturally I had to do something about it, and so I went on a crusade and I pushed red all the way back to 0 cities. Then I walked over from this area by Elaren Hall to Nevermore Village, which is where I am now, and look at this shit. Red has 3 towns taken over in that time. As I'm playing on the hardest difficulty and this is my first time playing the game, I am not sure if this aggression is normal or just something I have to deal with because of the higher difficulty, but frankly I've had enough. 4 fuck-ass wizards are just too much for me to ignore, so today we'll be boot stomping at least a couple of these wizards. As you can probably guess, we're going to start with the green wizard. He's the closest, and I want this annoyance gone. So let's deal with this bastard. I'm also tired of dealing with these henchmen, so I'm taking the long way to the green castle. Unfortunately, I do get jumped by Alt Akesh, but this duel doesn't actually take me too long. By turn 2, I get a Juggernaut into play and manage to give it a Spirit Link. Kesh plays a Time Walk, but it doesn't really help him too much. Then, Kesh plays out a Time Twister, and he shows us why Time Twister can be a bad card if you don't use it wisely. I ended up with 2 Lotus and a Sarah Angel in hand, and then I drew into an Armageddon. So I cast the Angel and the Armageddon, leaving me with a board state and him, well, losing. He lost this game by turn 6 or so. Which is awesome, because I didn't want to waste my time, or yours, with this fool. But we make it to the Green Wizard's Tower, and for once the game decides to shine some luck on me. And there aren't any goons on the way to the wizard. So after preparing myself, we step right in and duel the Master of Green spells. So I start with a Felwar Stone, which is pretty nice, and my opening hand is pretty sick. I don't have an early threat, but I do have a Black Lotus, 2 lands, a couple of removal spells, and a way to refill the hand, so this could potentially go my way. I used the Lightning Bolt on his Fungasaur, and while it would have been smarter to wait, I just wanted it gone before it got out of hand. With its ability to grow when damaged, it could potentially become an issue, especially since the game starts at 9 to 35 life. I draw another land, which is pretty helpful as Gem Bazaar is really inconsistent. It picks a random color to tap for every time it's tapped. It's useful, but again, it is inconsistent. The Sylvan Library is very concerning, but at least it's knocking his life total down. Besides, I'm playing a calculator, so I'm almost positive the choices it's making are not optimal. A Killer Bee has come down, and that's another thing worth removing, but I don't want to pitch my Lotus just to remove it, so we'll wait for now. The Instill Energy is interesting, and I've already taken 2 from this bee, but it's fine. It's even funny, because I'd really like to dump my hand, but I do have some valuable pieces in my hand that I'd rather use than just throw away. So I'll just control magic the Killer Bee, which is a 2 for 1. Or really a 3 for 1 if you think about it. His Instill Energy is useless now, his Killer Bee is my Killer Bee, so I guess it would be a 2 for 0, not a 3 for 1. My card advantage has stayed the same and he's out 2 cards. That's a pretty good deal. But anyway, I'll cast the Dark Ritual and float 2 of the mana while using the 3rd to cast Contract from Below. I need to ditch my swords and also add a card to the ante, but having a fresh 7 does kinda take that sting away. And what a 7. I'll hit him with the Lightning Bolt, cast another Dark Ritual, and Black Lotus, as well as the Birds of Paradise. I'm dumping my hand so I can cast a second Contract from Below this turn. Fair and balanced gameplay. Unfortunately, this little gamble has cost me 3 black mana that I can't spend. I can't really cast anything more without taking more burn. I could make 3 white mana to get out the Spirit Link and the swords, but I think it's better to wait a turn and try not to get burned for 4. Either way, he takes another 8 points of damage, drawing another 2 cards, then plays a bee and an enchantress. Things are getting interesting. I consider playing out my birds, but I decide to keep all my green mana open for this turn, so instead I'll just play a land and pass. Jolly Green over here finally decides not to take more damage from the library and instead just swings at me with his bee. This is why I decided to leave my green open. I let him activate his B first, so I know how much mana I need to dump into this. He only pumps his B for 1, and I pump mine by 4. I'm pretty sure he had the opportunity to respond to this, and if I was him, I would have forced me to use my Lotus. But he didn't, and instead I just got a free removal. That's pretty cool. Then he casts Gaia's Liege, which is a super interesting card that I wish was any good. It's usually not worth trying, but it's such an interesting card. It can tap to turn lands into forests, which is very good. And honestly, I'd just leave it since my win condition is currently his Killer Bee, which means I kind of benefit if he turns a non-green land card green. Still, he could swing in since I'm running a decent number of forests, and Gaia's Liege's power and toughness are equal to the number of forests I control whenever he's attacking. And I do also still need my other mana colors. So I crack my Lotus for white mana. This will give me the chance to Spirit Link my bee. Lifelink will help a lot as I'm at a pretty uncomfortable life total. I use another white to remove the Gaia's Liege, then I cast another bird, and I let Rip Contract from below. Oh hey, a Time Walk. I can use a blue and that last white to not take any damage. How wonderful. I use the last of my green to pump my bee to a 4-5 and I let it rip. This brings us to 8 life and him down to 17. That's almost fair. However, my hand is pretty bad. I did draw a lightning bolt, which is neat, but let's worry about buffing my super awesome Killer Bee. It's a 9/10 now, with lifelink, and flying. How quickly the tides turn. Now I'm at 17, and he's at 8. What a wild world we live in. Then he takes an extra card, with the library going down to 4. But it doesn't matter, because I have this lightning bolt, so I can hit his bird, and then I can just swing in, and he will have no way to defend himself. So I swing in with my 9/10B, and like that, Jolly Green has been defeated. I get 3 green cards, so I'll take a drop of honey, since that card fucks super hard. I'll also grab an Elves of Deep Shadow, since I'm feeling particularly fond of the dark, and then I consider Winter Blast, which is really good in certain instances. I also consider Channel, but everything has higher life than me, so I can't really use it effectively, so instead I opt for Fast Bond, another card I can't really use effectively. But the map is looking easier to control at every step. Now I only have 3 wizards I need to deal with. But to be honest, that hasn't vindicated me yet, so I'm going to be sniping at least one more down today. Now the real question is, do I go for white or red? Both of their castles are within wandering distance. Well, the decision is made for me because Big Red takes another town while I'm debating and wandering towards the direction of both castles. So, red it is. On my way to the red castle, red launches an assault on a 5th town. I really need to win this castle or it's game over. Fortune favors the bold, however, because I get eyes on Big Red pretty quickly. However, I do have to face 2 henchmen before I can face her. Hopefully these matches go my way. Well, this first match looks like it will be going my way. I open with a Time Walk, a solid collection of mana, and some disruption. I even start with a Black Lotus in play. I take a hit immediately, but my first draw is a second Healing Salve. That's not a super great card by any means, but it does mean I can crack my Lotus for pure efficiency. I'll use the other 2 white, just chunking up my life total, and use the swords to get rid of this Fire Drake. Oh yeah, I should mention the Mana Flare. That doubles the mana from lands, so I can cast this Time Walk with 1 land, my Underground Sea. That's pretty neat. The Time Walk turn is pretty uneventful though. I draw a Circle of Protection red, which isn't currently useful, and now my hand is just a Spirit Link and the COP. Plus, Gem Bazaar is giving me red right now, which isn't currently useful. I guess I'll just have to pass. So Dingus Red over here casts Goblin Polka Band. That's not a car I remembered existing, but cool. Its ability is kinda shit. Pay a red for each target, and you can tap any number of random creatures. If they are goblins, they don't untap next turn. Doesn't say anything about it being only opponent's creatures, so this is pretty terrible, especially if you're running goblins. I draw an Underground Sea, so we're still chillin'. Then Dingus Red over here hits me for 1 and drops a Keldon Warlord. Now things are starting to get interesting because I draw a Serra Angel. I have to crack the Lotus, but I get it onto the field and manage to get out a Spirit Link as well. Unfortunately, I did have to take a mana burn because of Mana Flare. Anyway, Red drops an Orcish Aura Flame and activates the Goblin Polka Band. Okay. So that's a sound effect that exists. Moving right along, I draw Juggernaut. I can cast it as well thanks to the Mana Flare. So I swing in with the Angel, and now the life totals are a more reasonable 15 to 14. Then Red takes a mana burn after casting a Goblin King, and I'm forced to sacrifice my Juggernaut for his Keldon Warlord. Well, forced is a strong word, but if I don't destroy it now, I may not be able to, and it could get out of hand quickly if this dickhead has a Wheel of Fortune and barfs out a board state. Anyway, I draw a contract from below, which means instead I drew 2 Black Lotus, a Serra Angel, another Spirit Link, 2 removal spells, and a card that specifically tells Lightning Bolt where to shove it. I play out the Serra Angel and the Spirit Link, but I attach the Spirit Link to the Serra that's attacking this turn, so I'll get at least some guaranteed value from it. Then, Goblin Polka. And interestingly enough, the ability of Goblin Polka can target the Goblin Polka that activated the ability. So that's hysterical. Anyway, I drew a Juggernaut and attacked in with the Angels. Pro tip, by the way, instead of using tap effects on your turn, use them after your opponent's upkeep, or it's kind of just a waste because they get an untap step. Unless you plan on attacking in immediately, of course. Either way, Dingus Red just passes the turn and that's all she wrote. Then I discover a pile of effects, and I get +2 life for the next duel, as well as a Juggernaut. I almost screwed that up by taking the next dice as well, but I should probably save that for Big Red. Anyway, I dueled Dingus Red II, and my opening hand is okay. I've grown used to casting 3 Black Lotus a game, so it's a little sad not to see one, but there is a Mana Flare on the field, so it's not that big of a deal. Oh, Dingus Red II has barfed out a board. That's not ideal. I think I can still win this race, but it's looking closer than I'd like. I do have 2 Elemental Blasts, so I opt to blow up both of his red creatures. Then I swing in, bringing him down to 6. Oh damn, he used a fissure. What a prick. Oh ha, he took a mana burn. Dipshit, he's down to 5. Don't notice that I'm down to 4. I really do need to heal up, though, because Big Red is still waiting in the wings. I cast Juggernaut and I use my City of Brass for a white mana, and because of Mana Flare, I can blow up his Urg Raiders and heal up to 6. 7 to 6. What a wild game. He fissured my shit again. Luckily, I drew another Healing Self. And what's even luckier is that my Gem Bazaar is giving white mana. I can make 4 white mana and 2 mana of Who Gives a Shit, cast my Serra Angel, as well as a Healing Self, giving me an Angel and putting my life total back to 6. Oh no, he strip mined me. Bummer. Oh shit, he's got 6 power on the board. It is super relevant that Serra Angel doesn't tap right now. Well, I do have the swords, but that would maybe not be enough, depending on what he draws, and it would increase his life, which would make this take longer. Luckily, the AI is stupid, and it just holds back because I'd block and kill something, but being at 2, it doesn't even matter. So, that ends the tale of poor Dingus Red II. Now it's time to grab some dice and check out the rooms. Ooh, a treasure chest. No foolin'? Okay, the treasure is pretty uneventful, honestly. But I get 16 lives, and completely forget to go back to that other dice I had saved before calling out Big Red. Oh well, let's fucking go. So once again we have a mana flare in play, and my hand is, well, it's less than ideal. Starting with a City of Brass is great since I have immediate access to all my colors, but it's also a pain since it'll deal a damage each time it's tapped. It's also the only land in my hand, and most of my hand is 1-drops, so that burn will add up. But I do have a Circle of Protection red, so I do have a potential mana sink, but I can only activate it in very specific instances, so hopefully it'll provide some value. Ah, damn. Big red opens with an Ivory Tower. That is going to add a lot of annoyance to this situation. In fact, that kind of puts some urgency in this situation, and I think I need to rip the contract from below immediately. I'm losing a lot of very useful cards, but if I don't get the ability to cast things soon, I'll beat myself with burn. I draw 2 more contracts, which isn't ideal, but it's nice to have at least one, and I did draw a land, which is useful, as well as a bit more removal. I didn't draw anything that I can use that extra black mana I got from the mana flare, so I will take 1 more burn. Anyway, big red drops a dragon engine, but it doesn't matter at all since I draw a juggernaut and red attacks the dragon engine into the juggernaut. I foolishly block, but red foolishly doesn't pump the dragon engine, so it works out in the end in my favor. Then red drops a Shivan, which explains the lack of the pump, but I'll just swords this at the first opportunity and start slamming in with the juggernaut. I'll also add a Spirit Link, which will hopefully keep me out of fireball range. Then, like a dickhead, red drops a Crawworm, which means I used my removal wrong. I kept the blue elemental blast in case I needed to remove a non-creature, but I wasn't expecting a green creature. Shit. Oh well, I draw another Lotus, and after playing it, it's time to bust out another contract. Now that's a hand. I got a Swords, which will help me out with the Crawworm, and another Juggernaut. And a Time Walk. And a land! Anyway, I burn a couple Lotuses to drop the Juggernaut and the Time Walk, and then I make a dumb decision. I forgot that Crawworm has 6 power, so I was going to have it block the Juggernaut, and then use Healing Self to get it out of that situation, and use the Swords to clear out the Drake. But Juggernaut only has 3 life, and 3 minus 6 is, or 6 minus 3 rather, is 3, which is still enough to kill the Juggernaut. This mistake cost me my Juggernaut, but at least they traded. Just kind of get on with my life. I get a couple more hits in before Big Red casts an Elder Landworm. That's not as bad for me as it seems, because I can save my Juggernaut with a Healing Salve if Red decides to trade. Or maybe it can't block the Juggernaut. As many have pointed out in one of my earlier videos, Juggernaut can't be blocked by walls, and Elder Landworm has been errated to have Defender. It doesn't say Defender or that it's a wall in this version, but I have no idea what it says under the hood. Maybe it was easier to just give it Defender until it blocked under the hood, and that's why they errated it. I have no idea. It doesn't really matter. I get red to 22, and red finds a lightning bolt, but I have a couple of blue elemental blasts, so that's not happening. Also, Big Red takes a mana burn here, which is funny. Another Crawworm comes out, and I swords it instead of being dumb, but that does bring red back to 22. A Dragon Engine comes out, and it gets buffed twice in response to my Lotus, which is pretty funny. She blocks the Juggernaut, but I have that Healing Self, and I've become confident red's not going to block with the worm. Another Shivan comes out, but I blast that away before it can even resolve. This contract from below has been burning a hole in my hand, and I really want a full grip, but I've held off because I don't want to deck out. So let's just see what's in my library. 9 cards, which would give me 2 turns to win. That might be stretching it, so I guess we won't do that. I draw another Juggernaut, but this fight is over. Red's at 6, and I don't think that she can do much. She does surprise me by casting a Winds of Change, and my contract stops taunting me, and I get a Scrubland. Which is cool. That's a useful card, but not really useful now. Still, I play it out for no real reason and also cast an unnecessary Spirit Link, but in my defense, you never know what's going to happen until it's over. Oh hey, she can block with the worm. Huh. Anyway, it's over, and Big Red is dead. I get 3 free red cards, and I don't really need anything available. I grab Blood Moon because I love that card, and I grab Ball Lightning because I also love that card. But then I'm kind of not sure what to get. I end up getting Bloodlust because it's a pretty sweet card in the right list. I'm not sure I'll ever make that list, but whatever. And after that, I expected these aggressive actions I've taken to relax me and calm the world down, but strangely enough, it doesn't seem to work like that. Just like in real life. I guess the only solution is more violence. So, White Castle? White Castle. Oh hey, another decent dungeon. I do need to beat up 2 of White's goons, but that's not the hugest deal. Oh man, it's 27 to 13, and this dickhead starts with a Banalish hero and an Elder Landworm. I'm getting banding flashbacks, and I don't like it. And now there's a lion. Rawr. I don't really have too many options here, and I don't really want to be taking too much damage. I Spirit Link the lion since I'd rather remove the banding creature or it's gonna be hard to attack. Anyways, I take 1 from the hero and then I just time walk, because why not? Oh yay, I drew another Juggernaut. Unfortunately, I can't deploy them both, so 1 will have to do. Then this idiot doesn't even band the Banalish hero, so I get to block it with the Juggernaut and that problem is gone, pretty much for free. Hell yeah. Oh, he played a White Knight. That's annoying. Still, I'm making progress. Then I waste a healing cell for whatever reason. Well, okay. The reason is I'm hoping to draw a land so I can get out the Juggernaut and then cast Contract from below, but I'm going to need to get a Lotus or have to wait 2 turns regardless, so this was pretty much a stupid idea either way. Oh well. Damn it, it's another White Knight. Oh hey, another healing salve. At least he's land screwed. He's dropping so many weenies as it is. Imagine if he was casting 2 or 3 a turn instead. This pressure is a lot, so I slam the healing salve again, and oh look, I drew a Lotus. This allows me to drop the Juggernaut and the Contract, and I get a new grip along with a Drain Life. Very interesting. I used the Drain Life to kill the Sandworm because I really don't want it blocking my Juggernauts. If everything stays as it is, I win this race, but that worm chumping a Juggernaut might screw that up. But the nice thing about a Summon Sick Juggernaut is that it can block a White Knight, which I do. Everything is coming up Millhouse. Then some not interesting attacking and blocking happens, and I end up winning. Yay! Ugh, I gotta fight another one of these things. I check out everything else I can scout without dueling, but I don't end up finding any fun treats. Oh well, on to fighting the Angel. And they're starting off with a War Elephant and an Elder Worm. How fun. But I get an Angel, which is excellent and arguably better. My opening hand is pretty fine too. Some early removal, and in 2 to 3 turns I can rip a Contract for that sweet, sweet card advantage. I blow up the trampling, banding elephant because I don't want to deal with that. Yeah, anyway, I hit him with the Angel. But then a Soul Net comes out. Then I hit him with the Angel. Then a Vulture comes down. Then I cast a Spirit Link, which is pretty sweet. Then I cast a Healing Salve and Dark Ritual, just to get them out of my hand, so that I can cast the Contract. Huh. That's a hell of a hand right there. 3 Black Lotus and a Drain Life. Jeez. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Now it's 7 to 21. That's pretty good for me. Anyway, I hit the Angel with my Angel, and now it's 3 to 25. Another Vulture comes down, but I don't really care. I'm feeling like ripping another contract. I even have 25 cards in my library, so that's not a stupid idea. You know, this Animate Dead that I've been carrying around has been a lot less useful than I expected it to be, but oh well. Oh hey, another contract from below. And some juggernauts. Anyway, I swing in with the angel, but the coward blocks it with a vulture. Then I play another land and another angel, pretty confident that I'm winning this one. But wouldn't you know it, the angel blocks, so we need to play another turn. It's not like they have an out. Oh, that's a Wrath of God. But I have angels. Dude, this is... I guess this is still flavorful, but damn, that's annoying. Oh hey, I drew a third Juggernaut. I'm still pretty confident I win this. I play out a Juggernaut and... Oh hey, look. Another Wrath of God. Funny stuff, guy. Funny stuff. That was sick, a Time Walk. Good luck casting another Wrath of God without a turn, dickhead. But yeah, I play the Juggernaut, cast the Time Walk, play a Spirit Link for no real reason, and win the duel. So, now, here we are, at the White Wizard. Once again, the enemy has a War Elephant and an Elder Landworm, but unfortunately, with no more dice, I was unable to start this duel with any help. The hand is also potentially rough. If I draw a Lotus or two, this will be okay, but it's not looking great. I draw an Animate Dead, which is not currently helpful, so I just swords the War Elephant and hope that'll buy me enough time to stabilize. Oh hey, another land. That's useful. I debate using a contract, but throwing away these pieces this early into the game might end up screwing me, so I hold off for now. Oh wait, Circle of Protection artifact. But my win condition is a Juggernaut. Well, that's annoying. Yeah, but at least Gandalf here hasn't played another land. But I get impatient here and decide it's time to rip the contract. At least I have some lands now. I still have a Juggernaut too, but that might be less useful with a COP artifact on the field. But we can at least vibe for now. I make it to 4 lands and drop my Juggernaut. Not sure how much pressure this will apply, but at the very least it'll tax him 2 mana, which, you know, isn't horrible. Oh hey, a White Knight. At least he won't be able to activate the circle this turn. Anyway, on Honky Tonk's next turn I remove the Knight because I really don't have the life total to be taking hits. Then I draw a Dark Ritual, which I can use on my Drain Life to deal with the Landworm before it becomes a problem. This also brings me back up to 8, which is not great, but is better than 5, or the 3 that I went down to so that I could cast the Drain Life. Then we go back and forth for a couple turns. He doesn't play anything, which is a great sign, but it does mean that Honky Tonk here can keep activating his Circle of Protection, and I don't get to make any progress either. Oh well, it's mostly a stalemate. Oh snap, that's a Mishra's Workshop. He's just doubled his mana output as long as he plays an artifact. That could be bad. Holy shit. I never thought I'd be terrified of an Armageddon clock. I actually need to do something about this. I guess it's time to rip the contract. Oh hey, a Time Walk and 3 Black Lotus. That's really useful. So I play out the 3 Black Lotus, the Time Walk, and manage to cast the Serra Angel without cracking them. I'm hoping to dig into a Drain Life or something, I guess. But I do have the Spirit Link, which is going to be really helpful. The nice thing about Gandalf tapping out here is that he can't activate his Circle of Protection artifact. I really need to be making progress here, though. That Armageddon clock is going to kill me a hell of a lot faster than it'll kill Honky Tonk here. Holy sweet RNGesus, there's my Drain Life. I'm going to cast the Spirit Link on the Angel, since he doesn't have a Circle of Protection Angel, and then I'm going to cast this Drain Life. I can put 12 black mana into the Drain Life, and that's pretty useful. And after getting another swing in, that Armageddon clock is suddenly looking a lot less threatening. Good luck, asshole. Tick-tock, that clock hits 1. What the fuck is a white mana battery gonna do for you, Chief? Oh, help you cast a white knight. How industrious. Then he chumps the Juggernaut, and no more white knight. Plus, it's now 3 to 23, which is much better for me, being that I'm the 23 and not the 3. Anyway, Armageddon Clock is knocking again, and so he spends 4 mana to remove a counter. Classic. I think this race is run, my friend. Oh wait, he drops a Lotus. Maybe he does have a play? No, he passes the turn. Well, honky tonk the sainted one, I think this is the end for you, my friend. The mad lad activates his circle with the Black Lotus and takes mana burn, bringing his ass to -2. Solid place until the end, dude, but now I gotta pick out a few white cards. I grab a land tax because that card is pretty sick. Then I grab a Tundra because I don't currently have even one. Then I grab a Cleanse because the Black Wizard is the only one left, so that might come in handy. Now, there's some fucking peace on this map and I can relax. Well, not really, because Black has 4 cities, which means 1 more captured, and the game is over. Now, I could take back the cities and probably maintain control while I do some dungeons and stuff, but come to think of it, I don't actually know when or where you face the final boss. I don't know if it's after the last wizard falls, or if like a cave opens up somewhere. I guess what I'm trying to say is that there's blood in the water and I'm coming for this last wizard, and I don't know if that's a bad idea or not. But my annoyance with the Wizards 5 hasn't been diminished, so I'm going to the Black Castle as well. Well, now I'm in an awkward position, because he's attacking a 5th town, which means I pretty much need to deal with this dork or it's game over. So that's what I'm going to do. You know, Castle Necris seems like a shithole, but whatever. It's not my castle, not my problem. What is my problem is that there are 2 dweebs standing between me and the Black Wizard. So, I start the next duel. I have a Time Walk and 2 Swords to Plowshares, as well as a smattering of other fun cards. I also start with a Lotus, which is pretty sweet. But Aga Glanier here starts with a Hypnotic Spectre, and agreed. This might be tricky. I deal with the Spectre right away because I don't want to have cards ripped out of my hand. Aga here drops a Forest and a Soul Ring, which is concerning. But I'm just going to Time Walk about it. It's a bit early to be ripping a Drain Life, but I do want to use this contract soon, so I do need to get cards out of my hand. That's called maximizing value. Oh hey, a giant spider. Ah. Oh hey, a Time Walk. I'm going to use that, I think. After I make the spider a farmer, anyway. And I might as well cast the contract. Heck yeah, a Lotus, Juggernaut, and Drain Life. As well as another contract. Sweet. Anyway, I played the Juggernaut, and then this dickhead plays a Sarah Angel. That's annoying. Oh hey, an Angry Mob. Yeah, I put Angry Mob in here and took out the red hate before I went to the Black Castle. Angry Mob doesn't do anything here, though, because this dude doesn't even have a swamp. I thought about using Drain Life on the Angel, but I could always just Healing Salve my Juggernaut after I attack, so it's actually fine. Oh no, it's a Jade Monolith! Anyway, I hit him with the Juggernaut, which is a new experience for us. You know, the variety of gameplay is one of Magic's strongest features. Oh no, it's a Jade Monolith! Anyway, I hit him with a Juggernaut, which is a... Okay, I'm kidding. Yeah. I might be too big of a fan of Juggernaut, but it's been damn effective in this campaign. Oh snap, Aga does have swamps. Or at least a swamp. And he immediately draws a card with it. Very funny. Wait, that's illegal. You can't just cast your Spirit Link on my Juggernaut. Who would be so barbaric? Well, fuck. I can't attack with my Juggernaut anymore. but I can cast a Drain Life for 8, so... GG, I guess. Next, we fight the Necromancer. He starts with a Carrion Ants and Greed, and I start with a Black Lotus. Opening hand is pretty sketchy. I have a couple of Juggernaut and a couple of Swords to Plowshare, but the only colored mana I have is the Black Lotus in play. And I don't have that, because I just used it to cast a Juggernaut. Oh snap, Necro has started with a Dark Ritual. Oh, he used it all on Greed to draw cards. Not that that's comforting, but at least he took his health down a bit, which is something. Then I draw a Contract, which is a sweet card, but it doesn't let me cast anything, so damn it. But he blocks my Juggernaut with his Carrion Ants, which is an incredibly well thought out strategic decision, if you ask me. Oh hell yeah, I drew the Tundra I just put in here. Gonna slap that down and slap a Spirit Link on and give my game some longevity. Oh boy, he's activating Greed again. How awesome. Anyway, I'm going to attack, and also blow up one of his swamps, because this draw shit is getting kinda old. Then I got a City and Brass, but honestly, the whole drawing lands thing doesn't seem like it was actually all that important in this match. It's already 7-20. Down comes a Zombie Master, but I'm gonna put the kibosh on that immediately. 4-25 now, but out comes another Zombie Master. Now with an Unholy Strength. Oops, now he's a farmer. Now it's 1-30. I'm feeling pretty confident with this game. Oh my god, it's another Zombie Master with an Unholy Strength. What are the odds? I'm going to dig for removal or even a Drain Life by casting the Contract from below. Oh hey look, a Drain Life and 2 Black Lotuses, plus a Dark Ritual. That feels like overkill. Still, I'm gonna use them and send this bastard to -8. And now, we're finally to the last wizard. The Greater Lich. Let's see how this goes, shall we? Alright, 35-10 with a Hypnotic Spectre and Greed, and I have nothing. This should be pretty easy. My hand is kind of bonkers, but it would be nice to have a way to deal with the Spectre. Well, I do have Cleanse. It does seem like a waste to use it on one creature, but I really don't want to discard any cards. So I'm gonna crack a Lotus and go -1 on card advantage just to avoid going -1 on card advantage. It's plays like this that let you know I'm a gamer for real. Oh crap, a Mox Jet and a Lotus. And he used it all to draw cards. Heck yeah, it's 25-10, and all it cost is him having a grip of 10 cards. He ditched a Hypnotic Spectre and 2 lands. I wonder if that was the optimal choice. Well, I draw a Drain Life and really can't do much, so I'll just pass. Out comes a Will-O-the-Wisp. Hell yeah. Anyway, there isn't much to do with the Spirit Link or the Drain Life, so I toss them aside as I once again sign the Dark Covenant. Now that's an interesting grip. I'm pretty okay with this. Anyway, Funny Bones here casts an Imp and a Black Vice. Seriously? You're just gonna do me like that? Damn it. Now I need to flush my hand a bit. Damn it. I crack the Lotus and hit both his creatures with the swords and slather up a salve while I'm at it, and now I'm down to 4 cards in hand. Yeah, eat that, you bag of dicks. Ha, he drew a card about it. Lucky bastard. Anyway, I cast an Angry Mob, which seems pretty decent in this situation. Aw man, he drained lifed it. Anyway, I cast an Angry Mob, which seems pretty decent in this situation. Oh fuck, he's mind twisting himself? Is he mind twisting himself? Wow, it's gonna be really fucking embarrassing if I lose this game. Yeah, look at that, he mind twisted himself. Curious. Good time to draw 3 more cards, I suppose. What the fuck is going on here? Anyway, I cast an Angry Mob, which seems pretty decent in this situation. Also, I hit him with an angry mob, which brings him to 7. I'm in the lead, and I did it all on my own, and he didn't throw or make a bad decision even once. Ah, damn, he got out a Tetravis and a Will-o'-the-Wisp. Not that it matters, angry mob has trample. Good effort with the block there, bag of bones, but I don't think that's enough. And I've did it. I've defeated all 5 assholes of the rainbow. I don't really care about the cards, so I'll just pick, you know, good ones. Oh shit. I guess the final boss comes immediately after you beat the last wizard. I do not believe I am prepared for this. You have defeated all 5 wizards. Shandalar is free. Prepare to face the final challenge. Your battles so far will banish the evil Planeswalker Arzakon for 1,332 years. Each life it loses in the final battle will banish it for 10 additional years. Good luck. Okay, so a commenter in one of my other videos mentioned in passing that the final boss is 200 life, so I'm gonna need to be pretty careful here if I'm gonna beat him. I don't have a time twister, and I'll deck out long before Juggernaut can punch this guy's dick in. I guess I could make a bajillion card deck, but then there's no chance I'll ever draw anything that I need. So I think I need to do poison counters. With Marsh Viper and Pit Scorpion, I only need to hit the bastard 5 to 10 times, and I'll win. So yeah, I'll fill the deck with mana to get the poison creatures out quick, a Raised Dead to get one back when it gets removed, as much busted card draw as I have, and the rest will be counter spells and Time Walk. I think this is my best chance of having any hope of beating someone with 200 life. So, I guess, let's see how this goes, shall we? Wait, that's 400. That's like twice as much as 200. I got punked. I got lied to. How the fuck are you supposed to knock out 400 life with a pile of cards? I definitely should have just beat back the cities and did some dungeons before I stepped up to this plate. But at least poison counters don't care what your life total is. I guess let's fucking do this. Hey, they started him out with a Celestial Prism so he can actually cast his spells because I bet his deck is just 5-color nonsense. My opening hand looks promising though. I can get a Viper down turn 1 and I'm already off to the races. Hopefully he doesn't play anything good. He immediately drops a Mox Pearl. That's fantastic. Oh shit. Guys, I think I'm fucked. I don't think I can get past the Urgrader. I'm going to have to let him attack, and hopefully I can win the race by drawing... Fuck, I think all I have is a Terror. Am I stupid? Am I about to get clowned by an Urgrader? Oh no. He's stupid. I'm gonna get my shit pushed in by an idiot. Oh good, I'm also walled by the Brass Man. I was kind of expecting he'd play good cards, which would mean not many creatures, but I think I may have made an error in judgment. Maybe he won't block? Okay, I'm fucked. Wall of Dust? Oh, now's a great time for a Sylvan Library, thanks. I was really hoping I'd just draw lands in a library while I'm at 4 life. There's like 10 lands in this deck. Alright, that's enough. Go fuck yourself, Ultimate Evil. I'm going out on my terms, by dying in a city of brass. Hey, I've protected the plane of Shandalar for the next 1,600 and some years. The people rejoice and life is good. Which is funny because I don't really feel like a winner. Oh hey, there's stats here. That's pretty cool. 106 wins to 37 losses. I guess that's okay. Still, I feel more like a loser than a winner for that last match. We're gonna call this video here, and I have some fun ideas for Shandalar content in the future, but I am gonna go back to that old save and try to beat this dickhead for real. No promises that I'll manage that, but if I do, there will be a video about it. But before I go, I have a Discord server set up. It's not anything special, and it likely won't be the most poppin' server you've ever seen, but there are places to talk or ask me questions if you'd like to discuss something, and there is also the beginnings of an archive of sorts. I have links to every scrap of old ruling text I've ever been able to find, so if you're interested in reading the old rules and rulings for yourself, feel free to pop by and check them out. You could even join Copy the Links and bail if that's what you want, but come check it out if you're interested. Or don't. I'm not your mom. But anyway, that's all I have for you today. Like if you liked it, subscribe if you give a shit. But either way, I hope you have a magical day.